In 1895, the US government was 60 minutes away from a total financial collapse. The gold reserve, the bedrock of the American dollar, had plummeted to roughly $45 million, far below the $100 million safety line. President Grover Cleveland was paralyzed by the crisis. Then, a private citizen walked into the White House. He didn't ask for permission, he dictated terms. John Pierpont Morgan organized a syndicate of bankers to provide $65 million in gold to the Treasury by purchasing a massive issue of 30-year bonds. The deal was struck fast. While the physical gold arrived over the following weeks, the shock of confidence was immediate. It was the moment political power looked like an illusion, and the real keys to the kingdom sat in a private ledger. While others built factories, Morgan built the systems that controlled them. This is the blueprint of Morganization, imposing financial order through consolidation and disciplining what he called ruinous competition. Morgan was not a self-made man. He was the elite heir to a banking dynasty. While his father managed wealth, Pierpont aimed to dominate it. He saw unregulated competition as destructive. Price wars weren't healthy markets to him. They were inefficiencies that could crack the economy. He developed a cold, surgical method. He would find an industry in chaos, most notably the railroads, where dozens of firms bled cash and rivalry. Morgan moved in, seized control through reorganizations, and bound rivals into communities of interest. He cut managers, stabilized rates, and centralized decisions. By the end of the century, Morganization had placed 1/6 of all American rail lines under his influence. He didn't need to lay a single mile of track to own the movement of the nation. In 1901, Morgan moved to execute one of the largest consolidations of its era. Steel was a battlefield of rival mills, with Andrew Carnegie holding the high ground. Morgan saw the same chaos he'd seen in railroads and decided to end it. According to a famous account, Carnegie scribbled his price on a scrap of paper, $480 million. Morgan didn't negotiate. He didn't hesitate. He looked at the number and simply said, "I accept." He merged Carnegie Steel with other holdings to create U.S. Steel, America's first billion-dollar corporation. The move delivered unmatched scale and pricing power without eliminating every competitor. Morgan had industrialized the ledger itself. In the Gilded Age, whoever controlled the financing controlled the steel. In 1907, the American economy faced another reckoning. A failed attempt to corner the copper market triggered a massive run. The Knickerbocker Trust collapsed, and panic threatened New York's banking system. There was no central bank to intervene. There was only J.P. Morgan. Morgan summoned the presidents of New York's most powerful banks to his private library in Manhattan. As Wall Street panicked, Morgan did the unthinkable. He locked the library doors. He demanded coordinated liquidity, tens of millions from their own reserves. Some accounts describe Morgan sitting in his chair, cigar in hand, as the bankers balked at the risk. He kept them there deep into the night. Only after he secured a pivotal commitment, roughly $25 million in emergency support, did he unlock the door. That night, one man acted as the central bank of the United States. The scale of Morgan's power terrified the public. The idea that a private citizen could hold the economy hostage fueled investigations and helped accelerate the push that culminated in the Federal Reserve Act of 1913. The one-man Fed had to be replaced by a state institution. Morgan's legacy is a masterclass in cold strategy. Control the capital, and outcomes follow. He cared less about products and more about the pipes money flowed through. So here's the question. Is a truly free market even possible, or will it always consolidate into the hands of a master architect? Subscribe to the Strategy Fox as we hunt for the truth hidden in the ledgers of power. Drop a comment below. Is Morgan's blueprint of Morganization still alive in the large holdings that sit behind today's tech giants?